Well, legislatively, it's not only having the bill clear the House Ag Committee and the Senate Ag Committee, which has now occurred, but in June we will take the House version of the Farm Bill that was passed by committee to the floor of the United States House. It'll be subject to what I expect to be an open amendment process. I don't know how many dozens or hundreds of amendments we'll have, and they will come from every perspective of more cuts in the nutrition program, to less cuts, to cuts in crop insurance, to changes in conservation. It'll be a very open process. Now, we'll work our way through that, hopefully, successfully. The Senate at some point will pass their bill across the floor. Then we'll have to go to conference because there are differences in the nutrition program. We're going to save about $20 billion as the House committee passed bill shows. They save $4 or $5 billion in nutrition in the Senate committee passed version of the bill. That may well be changed on the floor of the House, but reconciling 5 and 20 is quite a deal. In the commodity title, we're very focused on giving producers options. If our friends in the Midwest want shallow or loss revenue insurance, we're going to make them pay a little more for it, but it's going to be an option. We've got to have price protection, a second option for crops like wheat and other crops in Oklahoma. Will the Senate be that strong? We've got to work that out. But once we've gotten out of conference, then the final product has to once again pass both chambers and go to the President for signature. So even though we've cleared the committees now, we still have to take our bills across both the House and Senate floor. We've got to go to conference. We've got to work out our differences. Then the conference report has to once again pass both the House and the Senate, and President Obama has to be persuaded to sign it. So we got a few steps to go.
You're thinking sometime hopefully this fall, maybe.
My goal, of course, I'm, in addition to cattle, a wheat guy in Roger Mills County. From my perspective, it would be nice to know what the policies are going to be before we put the wheat in the ground in September. That rarely happens, and it may not happen this time, but at least I'd like to think we'll be far enough along. I can tell, and I can explain to the folks back home what that conference report says even before it's signed by the President, so they can make reasonable decisions about their future.
Any areas that you're seeing of kind of consensus between the Senate and the House plans where we can expect this is going to happen?
The conservation title, very, very similar. Just a little bit of difference in the CRP enrollment numbers. That will be worked out in a matter of days. Even in the nutrition programs, we all understand what the policy decisions are and what the options are. The question is, which policies will we agree to, or which numbers will we try to achieve and reflect that policy? There's not a debate between oranges and apples. It's just how many apples or how many oranges do we go with. In the commodity title, that's probably the single toughest one, and that's the one that the membership of the United States House understands the least as a whole. I'd like to think they'll take our word for it, and I'd like to think at some point the doctrine of all commodity groups in all regions being able to participate will be accepted by everybody. And then ultimately the President. I mean, he really doesn't have a whole lot of country experience. He didn't campaign a whole lot out in the countryside either time, and he didn't get many votes out there. If he signs the Farm Bill, and I believe he will, it'll be because of the nutrition side, the food stamp program. It won't be because of the commodity title.
One of the bigger challenges you've got is education with the members?
Yes. We've had a huge turnover in membership. Literally in the floor of the House when we go to take the Farm Bill to the floor in June. The last Farm Bill was passed in 2008. Over half the membership has changed out since 2008. They weren't there for the debates last time, or the discussions, or voting on the amendments, or voting on the bill. They're a blank sheet. So we've got to educate those folks. And this is where I make my call always to my commodity groups and my general farm groups. It doesn't matter if all the farm members of your state delegation understand. You've got to talk to the urban members too. You've got to talk to the senators. You've got to get everybody up to speed. I truly believe that my colleagues will make good decisions, reasonable decisions, if they have a reasonable amount of good information. And we've got to get that to them. That's our responsibility. And my friends in all the commodity groups and all the general farm organizations around the country also.